I'm sure you'll agree that there are some childhood stories that just never really leave us. Whether it be the character, the world, the colours, something kind of sparks our creativity. We still feel inspired by them years, even decades later, in my case. Today I am going to create 3 art journal pieces based on stories that definitely have fueled my imagination throughout the years. So I hope you'll enjoy me as we take a nostalgic look back at these stories but create new pieces of art. I was so excited to finally be doing this page because I have had this page in my head for about a year. So last year I released the stamps Enchanted Forest, and I really wanted to combine them with Erica's stamps here. So these are from Stampinori to create a Faraway tree page. So for those of you that are regular viewers, you're probably not surprised. For those of you that are new, welcome. You're about to find out why. I absolutely love the story, The Folk and the Faraway Tree. It is very, very special to me. Hence why I drew those stamps last year, but they kind of lacked characters. Just because I wasn't going for that in that particular instance. But I just thought they worked so well with these stamps from Stampinori. So I bought these about a year ago, and this is me finally using them. So what I'm doing is I'm building my own colouring page. So we're using a masking technique where you stamp on copier paper, use like a stick and spray so it's kind of semi-adhesive, and then you gradually mask everything off to build your scene. At this point I am just trying to block out colour just to make sure the composition of this page actually worked, because it didn't work quite how I'd expected in my head. But that's okay, it's the joys of crafting. If it's not right, it's not the end. But I have to say, this piece really did get me thinking, obviously, about the story. I love The Folk and the Faraway Tree. It was the first book that I ever read. My granddad bought it for me. I read it all in one night when I was 7, and it inspired my love of reading. And I often describe myself when people ask about my style, and I have a very whimsical, fanciful style. And I always say that my head is in the clouds with the Faraway Tree, and I'm also down the rabbit hole with Alice. But one of the things I really love about crafting is these are stamps from the lovely Erica from Stampinori, who's incredibly talented but has a very different style from me. But I am able to combine those images with my images. And it's like you can, with the crafting world, you can take images from multiple different artists and put them all in one page where you have your own artistic input as well. And I just think it's a space where we can do these like amazing collaborations, and I'm not sure if there's many other niches that are like that, and I think that is just amazing. We can have all these artists work together on one piece, and these artists freely give of their images so that we can create with them. And I think that is so magical and special in itself, because me on my own, I wouldn't have been able to produce this page, but together with another artist I have, and I absolutely love it. And I found it kind of completely, I spent a lot of time thinking about that, thinking about the fact that we are able to work together as artists. This time reminded me of my granddad, stories I love from my childhood, and I had a good long time, hours and hours, just lost in the process, lost in my own little world, just able to kind of pull back and enjoy art, which is quite often what our crafting is about, a little escape from reality every so often. Now, at this point, I did like the look of it, but I felt that we had lost the concept of the fact that the tree was in the clouds and that there was a land at the top of the tree. So we needed to put more clouds back in, but I wanted to stick with Erica's style of clouds, so I just stamped some more out on scrap paper and cut them all out and got myself a large collection of clouds and gradually stuck all of those back in. And I think once I'd done that, I preferred the idea of it. So this is the first page, inspired by the Faraway Tree. The second page is going to be inspired by the borrowers, and again I'm collabing with somebody. So these are stamps by Stamptagious, and they are designed by Nicola. Nicola is actually Erica's sister. She's also a very talented artist. She creates stamps, but she also creates beautiful embroidery kit, which are just gorgeous. But the reason I pulled her stamps out is those characters were really tiny, and I wanted to do the borrowers. So the borrowers, oh, I love the borrowers. They're just such, again, such a whimsical, fanciful idea. But when we were little, my mum stopped kind of reading us one story at night. So we had this book of stories. They were all Disney ones, and you could read the whole story in one night. But we got to a certain age where she decided to read us novels. So instead of having one story a night, we would maybe get a chapter or two a night. And it was sort of my first introduction to a novel, and my mum used to like gradually read them to us. So we had all the borrower books, and it's actually funny because during COVID, my mum used to phone or FaceTime my daughter Kezia every Friday and read her a story, and the stories that she read with her was the borrowers as well. And one of the books is called The Borrowers Float. So I thought I would create this little scene. I used this die, which is mine. This is from my collection because I love teapots and things. And then I added in these little characters because they're so tiny, they're so cute, and it worked so well. So those are from the lovely Nicola, and I kind of created the background with watercolour and acrylic markers, then popped the teapot on. It looked a bit janky at first, but we're going to come in with the acrylic markers and make it look like that teapot is actually under the water. And I absolutely love this. It's made me really want to draw characters based on the borrowers, like little people with oversized safety pins and real cotton reels and things like that. So actually working on this page has sort of led me down a whole other creative idea that I want to explore. But again, it was really nice just thinking about this childhood memory and being inspired by it. And another gorgeous page, I think. So the final page that we are going to do is based on Tinkerbell. So again, I'm combining images. That page that I showed you at the beginning was a page that I created in my journal using Ladyhook stamps by myself. But at the time I was thinking, oh, that would work so well with the Tinkerbell stamp from Erica. So again, this is another Stampanori one. Now, this isn't particularly my childhood. We did kind of watch Peter Pan and things like that, but my daughter absolutely loved the Tinkerbell movies. So we spent a lot of time watching them together when she was little. I got her the box set of Tinkerbell movies, or the books that kind of matched the movies, and they became her bedtime stories, so I would read them to her. So we have a few favourites. We both love The Pirate Fairy, which was why I kind of thought it would be really fun to match that together with my Ladyhook stamp. So again, contrast of styles, but they do all work together in one page. So I stamped her out. This is in my vintage book. I kind of blocked out with acrylic markers. I kind of wanted to see the text through her skin, but not so much that it looked weird. And I built everything up with pastels, and now I'm coming in with some pencil detail. Now I do have to apologise, there are big chunks, like we've suddenly gone from that orange hair to the fact that we have gorgeous blonde hair now, and I used acrylic markers to do that. My excuse for this is when I pulled out the spray to fix the pastels, there was a massive spider at the bottom of it. I have such a fear of spiders, it is so bad. So I literally threw the can across the desk, managed to rescue myself from all of that, but I think it just addled my brain for the rest of the session because there's whole chunks of this where I've not filmed. So anyway, I managed to get her hair from looking ginger to blonde by coming in with acrylic markers. And this is me now pulling out a few little bits and pieces from my stash. So these are the Mechanical Mayhem dies. We also have the Ships Ahoy dies and the Ladyhook stamp set, and I'm just going to use those to just embellish the corner of this particular page. And I just thought it was a take on a page I've already done. So this is one of the things I forgot to show me stamping this and putting the embossing powder on, but at least you get to see the magic of the thermographic powder turning to gold. I thought that would work really well on this page. And finally, we are going to finish this off with gold splatters. So I still got lost in the memories of this, but instead of it being my childhood, it was my daughter's childhood, and we have another gorgeous page completed and some lovely time spent thinking about childhood memories. So that was so much fun, and here are all the pages together. Which one was your favourite? Thank you so much for joining me today. What were your favourite stories? What still inspires you today? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. If you like nostalgic art like this, you may enjoy these next videos here. Take care, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.